All right, guys, just like the America's Pick'ems, this will be based off of vibes, players' past performance individually, and for the ones who are sticking together collectively as well, and potential storylines that could happen in the Pacific region during their kickoff event. So we have Group C. This is the group that Bleed should have been in. And in the Group C, the thing is like the funniest thing could happen in Group C, where I can legitly see Paper X losing their first match. Because it would just be on brand for Paper X to lose their first match, right?
I mean, if he's not throwing, then it's not Paper X. No?
Both Gen G and RRQ, which a lot of people have them as the next teams to take that second place spot. And you know what? It's cool. But before we get there, I'm kind of jumping the gun. We'll go to Gen G, right? They made some changes here and there. There's some like possible rivalries and revenge games going on with Gen G and RRQ. I kind of like RRQ more than Gen G. And then here, potential upset alert is high just because Paper X can be doing Paper X things, but they still have something. I see them going on through. And then we have a rematch between Gen G and RRQ. The thing is, Gen G will have more data and RRQ. We'll just go with RRQ moving on. RRQ. I know a lot of people have Gen G being better than RRQ. If you guys do, let me know down below if that's the case. So DRX and DFM have both undergone like crazy changes this offseason. DRX said bye to RB and Zest, which is kind of surprising that they went that way, while DFM basically reunited the Crazy Raccoon team. Oh, thank you for the follow. Crazy Raccoon struggled in T2, and that was just T2 Japan, you know? So I don't know how well they're going to actually do in Tier 1, especially since they're in a group. Their first match is DRX. A lot of people are expecting DRX to wane a little bit, to regress, just because they lost Zest and RB, and that's fair, but I don't think they're going to regress so badly that they lose to DFM, right? And now for Group B, Team Secret and Talent Esports. When I was looking at past offseason results, even though I don't put too much merit into it, I just want to give a quick shout out to Team Secret, man. They just bullied people in the offseason, like Tier 2 and Tier 3, maybe Tier 3 teams in the offseason to get a check. That's their only offseason tournament, bro. And you know what? I respect it, because at the end of the day, 65K is 65K. That's what's up. They know what it's about to win. Like, they're like, hey, that's easy money, and they took it, so they're winners. You know, Team Secret is a bunch of winners because of that alone. I love it. I love the fact that they just bullied a bunch of people, collected the 65K, and they said, yeah, that we're done for the we're done for the off-season tournaments. That's also going to be like good vibes too, because the players are going to be like, you know what? Yeah, we are tier 1 Valorant players. We are nice like that, so I respect it. Talon's okay. Again, it would be a miracle if DFM wins a single game. I think they need some work for sure. I still believe in DRX. I mean, they still have 3 cracked players that have been proven. Foxy9 has some experience on international land, albeit it hasn't been the most impressive, but it was part of their game plan from the very get-go. DRX's game plan to just like slowly bring him in, which kind of was, they had mixed results with that. I don't think they're going to regress so badly that they lose. And then we get another rematch in the deciders, and Team Secret, I'm going to be watching Team Secret from afar just because I respect them. They're about the bag. They move on type beat. I think this is the closest to a group of death that you will see in the Pacific region, mainly because you could make a case for all 4 of these teams qualifying from this group. GE Global Esports is probably the least likely to qualify, but hey, I mean, it looks like they're building a team full of vibes, and vibes can take you far. Vibes can take you far. But we're going to start off with T1 versus Bleed. And this game right here is so magical and crazy for the fact that Bleed is an Ascension team. Bleed is the only Ascension team that's in Group A. Why? Hey, I mean, hey, if Riot wants to fix the seedings, I'm not going to argue it, because they made February the 17th, which is when this game is basically taking place, they made February the 17th more exciting than the Super Bowl. Like, I'm looking forward more to February the 17th than I was to the NFL Super Bowl. And T1 versus Bleed is one of the mini games on that day that I'm looking forward to playing. Not playing, imagine me playing, watching. And it's kind of interesting because a lot of hype is around Bleed, you know, because they have the likes of Ye, at least from the NA's perspective. But besides Ye, they just have a lot of crack talent to begin with either way, right? Scary has just been fragging as a controller throughout T2. Like, the Bleed's core from T2 extension, just watching them play, you could tell they were basically smurfing on the other competition. Like, they had T1 talent, tier 1 talent, not be confused with the team T1 from the very get-go. Egoist was looking like Algier, not Algier, Alfier in tier 2, like just dunking on people as well. And then Darion, who was like kind of keeping up with artists during their off-season performance, like off-season tournament. He was keeping up with artists. I'm sorry if I said his name wrong. And I'm not going to be taking too much credibility in the off-season tournaments because, like I explained in the Americas, so much can change. Like, in the beginning of the season, Paper Rex and EG were looking like the worst teams in their region. Fast forward just a few weeks, and they were the best teams. They were the top teams in their region, like top 3 at least in their region a few weeks later. So, and those off-season tournaments happened way back. There's a lot of have changed with the Sky nerfs. They're trying to buff Chamber too, which Chamber is going to be playing a major part in Group A as well. And then you have T1, who are kind of like, I don't know, like, I put a lot of faith in T1 on the global stage last year, and they let me down every single time. So they realized they needed some changes, and they made some changes. They brought in Forsaken's brother, Excurate, and then they still kept Carpe, who was, you could tell he was transitioning from Overwatch like a lot of other Valorant pros have done. Like, Busio came from Overwatch, and a whole mess of other people. And he's going to be IGLing, which is kind of crazy if Carpe's IGLing. I hope it's like more of a collective IGLing, like everyone's just giving each other information, kind of like how Paper Rex does. And they also brought in Rossi, another American import from Turtle Troopers Tier 2. The same Turtle Troopers that kind of had some drama with XQC because he was supposed to buy them and then he didn't. It is what it is. It's in the past. So T1 looks like they're trying to like get better, and I don't know. I haven't really seen much of Forsaken's brother in action. And then Rossi, hopefully he'll do better than Bang, who was on T1 too. He was another American import. Hopefully he does better as well. But they're going against Bleed, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know we haven't seen Bleed in action, but it's hype. It's hype. I'm succumbing to the hype. I'm succumbing to the hype. I know a lot of people are having T1 over Bleed, but I'm just going to succumb to the hype. I believe in Bleed. They look crazy. They are winners, bro. They were smurfing in tier 2 Ascension basically. And next we have Zeta Division versus GE. In the past, Zeta Division has been a team memed for not changing ever, so they finally did in this off season, and I think they're gonna get, well, I think they should get rewarded. They're like one of the most favored teams to move on. And we know Zeta has great aimers, especially since Chamber is, the devs are doing their best to push Chamber into the meta, right? In normal situations, it should be just Zeta Division moving on. But let's talk about GE, which they kind of have a funny story, right? In the 2023 season, they had a chaotic roster of 5 duelists signed, because I guess they were trying to like develop their Indian talent, like people who were born and raised in India. And they were trying to like get all these other international people to try to boost them up. They said it was going to be a long-term plan. Fast forward to 2024, they said, yeah, screw that nonsense. We just want vibes. Like with the players that they picked up, Benkai, he's just going to give the teams good vibes. Same with Ross as well. So, you know what? Because of the vibes, screw it. We're going with GE. I like it. You know, they always say Valorant's like 30 to 20% mechanical, and the rest is just mental. I believe in the GE vibes, all right? I know, big upset. But hey, you need an upset in the tournament, man. If your tournament doesn't have an upset, was it really a good tournament, you know? That's what tournaments are all about. They are designed to create upsets, type beat. And that brings us to our elimination round. I know Japanese fans, Zeta Division fans, don't be so angry at me, all right? I'll make it up to you. I think because Chamber is in meta, I'm more trusting of Zeta Division They made some changes. Hopefully it's good. It is kind of crazy to think about. Like me picking GE over Zeta Division kind of like made this bracket chalk. This made it chalk. The idea that T1 goes winless in groups is kind of crazy. I don't see that happening. But I also don't want Zeta Division to go winless either. Screw it. I'm sorry, T1. You guys broke my hearts. Every time I had T1 doing damage, they just let me down. So like, it's just something about getting group that T1 is so good at getting group. So I'm gonna go with Zeta Division. Moving on. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And this isn't even gonna be close. It's bleed. It's bleed all day, baby. It's bleed. And then we have a rematch. I think Zeta Division will be like, hey, you know what? We could just out aim these fools. We have good vibes too. We got Zeta Division qualifying as well. You know, they'll bounce back and all that jazz. And until next time, y'all stay safe, and I'll see you guys later. EMEA Pickems is going to be on its way too.